Hello everyone, welcome to Prelims Warm Up. In this initiative, we are looking at 5 questions every day, which have been asked in the previous year UPSC Prelims examination. This initiative has been brought to you by Aptitude Academy for Civil Services, and my name is Shayak Datta. I am the faculty for Geography and Environment at Aptitude Academy for Civil Services. So let us look at the first question for today. The first question has been taken from UPSC Prelims 2018, and the question is asking which of the following statement best describes carbon fertilization. Which of the following statement it best describes what is carbon fertilization? A. Increased plant growth due to increased concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. B. Increased temperature of Earth due to increased concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. C. Increased acidity of oceans as a result of increased concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And D. Adaptation of all living beings on Earth to the climate change brought about by the increased concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So the right answer for this is A. That is increased plant growth due to increased concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. This is what is meant by carbon fertilization. So let us look at the explanation part. The carbon fertilization effect, it is in principle simple. That is, the larger amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere that has resulted from rising anthropogenic emissions should help the growth of plants which use carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. And this actually helps to increase the crop yield. So that is 1A. Moving to the second question, this is also from UPSC Prelims 2018. And the question is asking, when the alarm of your smartphone rings in the morning, you wake up and tap it to stop the alarm, which causes your geyser to be switched on automatically. The smart mirror in your bathroom shows the day's weather and also indicates the level of water in your overhead tank. After you have taken some groceries from your refrigerator for making breakfast, it recognizes the shortage of stock in it and places an order for the supply of fresh grocery items. When you step out of your house and lock the door, all lights, fans, geysers, and AC machines get switched off automatically. On your way to office, your car warns you about traffic congestion ahead and suggests an alternative route. And if you're late for a meeting, it sends a message to your office accordingly. In the context of emerging communication technologies, which one of the following terms best applies to the above scenario? A. Border Gateway Protocol. B. Internet of Things. C. Internet Protocol. And D. VPN or Virtual Private Network. So we see that the right answer for this is to B. And what is Internet of Things? Let us see. The Internet of Things, or IoT, it refers to billions of physical devices around the world that are now connected to the internet, collecting and sharing data. These can be anything from cell phones, coffee makers, washing machines, headphones, lamps, wearable devices, and almost anything else that you can think of. Okay. And how does this impact you? There are many examples for what this might look like or what the potential value might be. Say, for example, you are on your way to a meeting. Your car could have access to your calendar and already know the best route to take. If the traffic is heavy, your car might send a text to the other party notifying them that you will be late. And what if your alarm clock wakes you up at 6 a.m. and then notifies your coffee maker to start brewing coffee for you? This is an example of Internet of Things devices. And light bulb can be switched on using a smartphone app is an IoT device or Internet of Things device, as is a motion sensor or a smart thermostat in your office or a connected street light. An IoT device could be as fluffy as a child's toy or as serious as a driverless truck. At an even bigger scale, smart cities projects are filling entire regions with sensors to help us understand and control the environment. So this is the future, that is Internet of Things, where everything will be interconnected and they'll be interconnected via the internet. So this is something that will be a reality in the future. So 2B is the right answer. Moving to the third question, also taken from UPSC Prelims 2018, and this question is asking, with reference to solar power production in India, consider the following statements. With reference to the solar power production in India, consider the following statements. Number 1, India is the third largest in the world in the manufacture of silicon wafers used in voltaic units, And 2 is the solar power tariffs are determined by the Solar Energy Corporation of India. Okay, India is the third largest in the world in the manufacture of silicon wafers used in photovoltaic units. And the second is the solar power tariffs are determined by the Solar Energy Corporation of India. So we have been asked which of the given statements these all are correct. Let us see. Answer is D. That is neither one nor two. That is, neither is India the third largest in the world in the manufacture of silicon wafers, which are used in photovoltaic cells or photovoltaic units, and also the fact that the solar power tariffs are determined with Solar Energy Corporation of India. That is also incorrect. So let us see what is the correct answer. The first statement is incorrect, as you can understand. The manufacture of solar panels, also called modules, it starts with polysilicon, which is made from silicon, and polysilicon it is made into ingots, which are then cut into wafers. Cells are made with wafers, and the string of cells is a module. Today, only modules and cells are made in India with imported material. At present, the only incentives available for manufacturing these is the Modified Special Incentive Package Scheme, which is available to all electronic goods manufacturers and implemented by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. But there have been very few takers for this particular scheme. The first thing is, India is the third largest in the world in terms of the manufacture of silicon wafers used in the photovoltaic units. So here we get to see that these silicon wafers, these are also the manufacture of solar panels. It starts with polysilicon, and this polysilicon is made from silicon. Polysilicon is made into ingots, which are then cut into wafers. Then you have the cells, or what we call as the solar panels, which are made with these wafers, and a string of such cells is called as a module. Now, today we only get to see only modules and cells are made in India. So only the cells are made in India, not wafers like what it was saying in the first statement. India is the third largest country in the world in the manufacture of silicon wafers, which are used in photovoltaic cells. That is incorrect, because only modules and cells are made in India, and that too with imported material. So at present, the only incentives available for manufacturing these is the Modified Special Incentives Package Scheme, which is available to all electronic goods manufacturers, and it is implemented by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. But we get to see that it has not been very popular, right? Coming to statement number 2, the statement number 2 was saying that the solar power tariffs are determined by the Solar Energy Corporation of India. So here we get to see that the Solar Energy Corporation of India, it is a CPSU, the Central Public Sector Unit, under the administrative control of the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Okay, so Solar Energy Corporation of India Limited, Solar Energy Corporation of India Limited, it is a CPU, that is Central Public Sector Unit, under the administrative control of the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. It aims to become the leader in development of large-scale solar installations, solar plants, and solar parks, and to promote and commercialize the use of solar energy to reach the remotest corners of India. It also explores new technology and their deployment to harness solar energy. Solar power tariffs are determined either through the regulations of Central Electricity Regulatory Commission. So who determines the tariff? Solar power tariffs, it is determined by, or it is determined through the regulations of the Central Electricity Regulatory Commission, or it is also regulated through the State Electricity Regulatory Commission, or through competitive bidding. So, as the question was asking, that the solar power tariffs are determined by the Solar Energy Corporation of India, that is incorrect, because here we get to see that these solar power tariffs, they are determined either through the regulations of Central Electricity Regulatory Commission or the State Electricity Regulatory Commission. So it is done through this, not through the Solar Energy Corporation of India, it is done through the Central Electricity Regulatory Commission or the State Electricity Regulatory Commission, or through competitive bidding, not the corporation. Next, moving on to the fourth question. The fourth question is also from 2018 prelims, and the question is asking the staple commodities of export by the English East India Company from Bengal in the middle of the 18th century were which out of these? It was asked. This particular question is asking the staple commodities of export by the English East India Company from Bengal in the middle of the 18th century were which out of this? So out of this we get to see D should be the right answer. C is the right answer. That is cotton, silk, saltpetre, and opium. These were the major commodities for export by the English East India Company from Bengal in the middle of the 18th century. So just have a look at cotton, raw silk, saltpetre, and opium. These were the major commodities. Okay, cotton, raw silk, saltpetre, and we have opium, and these were the major exports or major commodities which were exported from Bengal by the English East India Company. Now moving on to the last question for today. The last question was also taken from UPSC Prelims 2018. Which of the following is a very significant aspect of the Champaran Satyagraha? Which of the following is a very significant aspect of the Champaran Satyagraha? Number A, active all India participation of lawyers, students, and women in the national movement in case of the Champaran Satyagraha. B, active involvement of Dalit and tribal communities of India in the national movement. C, joining of peasant unrest to India's national movement. And D, drastic decrease in the cultivation of plantation crops and commercial crops. So which out of this is correct so far as the Champaran Satyagraha is concerned? So over here also we get to see D or C. Yeah, C should be the right answer. That is joining of peasant unrest to India's national movement. That was one of the major things. See over here. The Champaran Satyagraha of 1917, it opened a new phase in the national movement. So Champaran Satyagraha of 1917, it opened a new phase in the national movement by joining it to the great struggle of the Indian peasantry for bread and land. It was the first peasant movement to have garnered nationwide attention. So Champaran Satyagraha 1917, it opened a new phase in the national movement by joining it to the great struggle of the Indian peasantry for bread and land. It was the first peasant movement to have garnered nationwide attention. The Champaran Satyagraha, it yoked the peasant unrest to the freedom struggle. Subsequently, we get to see Gandhi's localized movements in Ahmedabad for mill workers and Kheda, where he supported distressed peasants, were in a sense the training grounds for the massive nationwide protests after the landmark year of 1990, all of which eventually contributed to the liberation of India from the inglorious British rule. So let us quickly go through this Champaran Satyagraha. What is the main importance, very significant aspect of this particular Satyagraha? The answer is C, that is joining of peasant unrest to India's national movement. And the question is why? So Champaran Satyagraha of 1970 opened a new phase in the national movement by joining it to the great struggle of the Indian peasants for bread and for land. It was the first peasant movement to have garnered nationwide attention, and the Champaran Satyagraha, it yoked the peasant unrest to the British to the freedom struggle. Subsequently, we also get to see Gandhi's localized movements in Ahmedabad for mill workers and for Kheda, where he supported the distressed farmers, distressed peasants, were in a sense the training grounds for the massive nationwide protest after the landmark year of 1919, all of which eventually contributed to the liberation of India from the inglorious British rule. Okay, so with this we complete the 5 questions for today. Please let us know in the comment section how you like this video, and also please subscribe to Aptplus Academy for Civil Services YouTube channel for more such informative videos. Also, please like and share this particular video with your friends who are also preparing for UPSC. And I hope to see you again next time with a new set of questions. Till then, stay safe and take care. Thank you so much.